Hello everybody, my name is Rick Mansbridge, and in this video presentation I'd like to make some comments about our first assessment, our first production in the subject technologies in TESOL. What I'd like to do is talk to you about the way I intend to approach the production presentation wise, and also give you a storyboard about how I see it unfolding. As you may have surmised, the video format is my preferred mode. I think it's more engaging, and it's the way I imagine myself interacting with my learners in the future on these online platforms. But I would like to do more than just talk to the camera. I'd like to make it more interactive in some way, and I'm thinking about how to do that. One thought is to have a recorded Google Hangout where I explain myself, what my understandings are, and perhaps some other participants ask questions and tell me their understandings. Obviously it would have to be partially scripted, but there'd also be parts where there'd be no script and we'll just see what develops. So if anyone's interested in that sort of format, let me know, because that might be interesting. We have to cover certain information, so it would have to be scripted, as I mentioned, because we have to demonstrate our understanding of the theories behind teaching and learning that might lean towards a particular technology that we could integrate. So we'd have to pay attention to the marking rubric for guidance about direction, but the actual production, the presentation, would be take on a life of its own, hopefully, and would also be interactive to the extent that when it was recorded it was live. So if anyone's up for that, let me know, and we can talk about it. I'd like to very briefly give you a storyboard about how I see the production going as far as content direction. And I mean, obviously there are many different technologies available for a teacher to select from, and there's more all the time, and the teacher will select from these technologies depending on a number of factors. Obviously the learner is very important, what the learner's needs are, what the learner's desires are, the environment, what's possible, what is not possible, what's allowed, not allowed, and of course it will depend on the teacher, the teacher's philosophy about teaching and learning, what they think learning is, how they think learning occurs, and how they think a learner can show that learning has occurred. And there are many different theories out there. I mean, this course has really shown me that there's a gazillion theories about teaching and learning, and I think for me it's useful to remember that a theory is a man-made construct that tries to model what they see in the world. You know, they look at a sample of hopefully representative agents, and they map their explanation about what they see to a larger population. And if that's all it is, you might wonder, well, how come there are so many theories? And I have a theory about that. My theory revolves around the fact that, you know, the systems we're looking at are not stable. You know, any system that has humans involved in it is highly dynamic, it's complex, and it's changing all the time. These agents interact with each other, they interact with their environment, and patterns occur. Turbulence occurs all the time, and that turbulence ripples through the system, and patterns change. And I suspect, you know, one explanation might be why there are so many theories is that a particular researcher is looking at a almost like a balance sheet snapshot of the sample population and draws conclusions. or if they're looking longitudinally, they're looking at a snapshot here and a snapshot a bit later, and then drawing conclusions. And really the system changes all the time. And I think perhaps with the, well, you could argue that there's an increasing amount of turbulence occurring in the system because interactions are becoming more frequent. There's more interactions, and the interactions are more widespread with the spread of technologies that allow, instant, all the time online connectivity. Then, somebody sitting here in the Glasshouse Mountains can be talking to somebody sitting in Athens and having an effect on that person through interactions. So I think there's more turbulence. Patterns are emerging and changing all the time, and of course these patterns are not predictable. They change all the time, and in fact once a pattern does have some sort of body to it, it also exerts an influence on the whole system. So it's this interplay back and forth, and a fundamental understanding and complexity is that outcomes are fundamentally uncertain. And that might be why you're reading one theory and you think, yes, that's true, I understand that, and I've seen that happen, or that sounds right. Now, how can that be? Can they all be right? Well, I think, yes, to a certain extent, at different times, they are all, let's not say right, but useful in helping us understand what's going on. And other times, not so useful. So, what does this mean? Where does this leave us with theory? Well, what it does do is give us a good, vast resource of choices that we can use to help our understanding. So, yes, I think you can't say one particular theory explains everything, and it's a combination of what we need to do is become very open to looking at the circumstances we find ourselves in, and then hopefully knowledgeable enough to be able to identify information we have from theories that we've looked at, and then that can inform our practice. So this has gone on a bit longer as usual than I hoped. So I'm going to finish it off now, and no doubt there'll be other comments that I wish to make a bit later on. And I look forward to anyone watching this to please add their comments, because that's the way I'd like, and the way it's supposed to happen, that these productions develop. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. I'll speak to you later.